Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the OK Grognard Show. It is Friday, June 12th, 2020, 9:30 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. So we're going to do something with this map. We were toying around with some ideas last week, and today we're going to do something more with them. So I plunked it down into its own little place on Roll20. None of those things are on. Good. And there's the whole thing. And the entrance, upper left. Note the lines are pretty close to matched up. You've got to hold down the Alt key while you resize it if you don't want the whole thing snapping to the grid, or turn off the grid snapping Rooney thingy. But the Alt key does the trick. Anyway, you'll note as you look around the rest of the map that it lines up pretty well. Right? Even down there. There you go. So the whole thing is all in one. By the way, Dyson Logos map, supported on Patreon. Don't forget to go and support him if you like what he does. Hail from Denver, Colorado, and Dweller8. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping in today. What do we got here? So we were talking about this all over the place last week. This week, let's actually do something with it. Let's see. We could use a little notepad. Actually, we can just write some notes right in here. We can copy and paste them out later, and then we don't have to keep clicking on a bunch of different programs to keep going. If we get onto the GM overlay level and we go to the text tool, 16, black, Arial, is that good enough? We want to do something, right? We want to do something out here. Let's put an 01. Is that size good enough? Do we want to change that? Oop, let's do that. Go back, text. Let's make it 22. Let's make it Arial's fine. Black's fine. There we go. 01. We just want it big enough that we can see it. Even that's kind of small, isn't it? What if... keep it its size. That's good. Let's go 32. See how that looks. 01. That's good. Obviously, we can move that around wherever we want. That's just fine there. Snapping the grid. Turn on the Alt key. There we go. Super. Alright. So what do we want to do with this entrance? Anything interesting? Anything fun? Do we want to have some sort of a keeper? Some kind of gatekeeper here? Some sort of creature, a trap? What keeps other things out? And the question's also, what keeps other things in? Or, if those things that are in come and go, how do we justify that? How do things get in and out without any difficulty? Well, that's a good question. Let's see. If we've got that there, and we've got this here, and we want to put a thing there, stairs down, it's going to have to move, obviously. Well, it did. Let's put it there. And now these are all on the GM layer, so if and when these are seen or not seen, so be it. Go to 5 over there. Do we want to do this side thing first and then come back and go around and down? I think so. Something special about the doors? Sure. We know there's something special about those 2 marks there, right? I think we're into here at this point. Right? I always like to take a little time to describe doors. I think doors are important enough to get their own entry, so they're easy to find in the mix, on the fly. Anything in here? Probably. Let's make that 14. 13. And then we can take 12. Move 12 back down there. Alright. 14, 15 for this landing. Anything weird about the steps? Probably. That's good. This is what does this connect? Oh yeah, this little dot here is this dot here, right? Alright. That means that this spot already has a step. Okay, well let's just repeat the number. And then we don't have to do that. Ground light, right? How's it going? Good to see you. 17. I think we go 19 over here. I think we want to get what's in the water first. 20. Then we get 20 entries. Plenty enough, right? Alright, now that those are all set, we have them where we want them. 16 corresponds with 16 there. That's good. 15, 12, 13. We can move 13 onto the door a little more. Let's center that. Good. 9 up over there. 8's fine. 7's fine. 6, let's just pop it in there. Snapping down. Alright. Good enough. Well, it's really about the stairs as much as the bottom of the thing, so we'll center that. This is good. Put it in the room. 12, 13, little off the door, huh? Alright. 3. We can wrap that around. 4, 2, 1's outside. We're good. Alright. So, question is, can we really add anything in? Death Angel Shadow, okay. He was here the other day. We'll add ground line into the list here for the drawing. Still don't know what it is. Maybe it'll just be a surprise. I'm not giving up finding those posters. Those Hildebrand leftover or duplicate Hildebrand posters. That's pretty sure I had some. Now I'm wondering. If it's true. All right. What do we got going here? Let's go to the big tables in the DMG, huh? We'll go to that first edition. Let's do just a crazy thing. If we are considering this tight but 3 small levels, right? This is some kind of a crypt, I think. So that's okay. If these were reliquary maybe, or some sort of a room dedicated to housing an individual looking after the crypts or something like that, and down below is a pool. But I think we need something in the pool. Lost Nomad, morning. I think we need something in the pool for this. Everything seems to scream out that this is an abandoned crypt or shrine of some kind. But why? And the craziest, most prominent feature is the pool. And notice you can come in the front door and walk down to the pool without encountering any doors, not necessarily any traps, anything like that. Article Justin Carr, thanks for dropping in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at you guys, man. You're just piling on. You're just piling on. Thank you very much for coming by. The pool strikes me as the feature that is most prominent in the present. And if there's something in the pool, if we're going with that premise, then it has to be something that doesn't give a crap about what's in 9 or can't open doors at 10 and 13 and 7. Right? I mean, you could, make 7 a big old locked. Well, you can lock all the doors. And if this is something without a key, no way through, sniffs at them, can't get in, ignores them, moves on. Some sort of creature in 18 is the big bad of this complex. But big bad just by default? I think so. I don't think it's necessarily a purposeful big bad. It can be a big bad neutral. You could put something in here like will-o-wisps. Good old will-o-wisp. They're always fun. They're difficult to deal with, potentially. They could simply ignore you. They're mischievous, so they might mess with you during the process of you doing other things. Will-o-wisp. Will-o-the-wisp. Will-o-wisps are commonly... Will-o-wisps commonly haunt deserted, dangerous places such as bogs, fens, swamps, or catacombs. Hey, by the way, I recently saw a post. It was pretty interesting. on the differences between these things. A bog is a wetland that is acidic. A fen is a wetland that is alkaline. A swamp is a wetland whose vegetation consists of trees or other woody plants. A marsh is a wetland with other forms of vegetation. Bogs, fens, swamps. Doesn't mention marshes for will-o-wisp. Mention catacombs where mires, quicksands, pit traps, and the like are plentiful. A victim trapped in these hazards feeds the will-o-wisp as it expires, for the thing feeds upon the fleeing life force. Thus, will-o-wisps seek to lure prey to their doom. 10% of the time, 1 to 3 are encountered, and in these cases, the creature's lair will be nearby 90%. The creature can attack, however, any hit, causing 2 to 16 points of electrical damage to the opponent. Will-o-wisp is able to grow bright or very dim in order to confuse prey. It can move slowly or flit about. It can blank out its glow entirely for 2 to 8 melee rounds. If it does not attack, and at the time it can be detected only by a creature who can see invisible objects. Well, any weapon will harm the will-o-wisp. Most spells do not affect it. The only spells which can affect the creature are Protection from Evil, Magic Missile, and Maze. If brought to 5 or fewer remaining hit points, will-o-wisp will reveal its lair and give over its treasure. Alright. Well, given what these things are, I don't see any reason why we can't have 3 will-o-wisp, 9 hit dice. So this is going to be pretty dangerous if there's 3 of them in the water. Decently high level nasty thing. So what if the pond is their domain? Right? They wind up having a lot of treasure. They have pretty high percentages as a treasure type Z, and it runs the gamut. 50% for any 3 magic items. Is that crazy or what? So if they can flit in and out of this place anytime they want, they can go invisible. They can't necessarily make themselves bigger or smaller. They are chaotic evil. So theoretically, is a glowing sphere, looking like a lantern, torch, or even dancing light spell. In combat, they glow blue, violet, or pale green. They call them size small. I've always pictured these things as basically the size of a softball. And that's what I'm going to stick with on this. So if we've got 3 9-hit die, -8 armor class, man, that's going to be brutal. It's going to be pretty tough. Two to 16 points of damage. Man, they can just nail you. And if they're in the water and you go in the water, can their electricity affect the water? Let's see. 9 hit dice, right? Nope. There we go. All right. -8 armor class. We said that already. Oops, that's not what we want. Well, let's do that. They're small. 2 to 16. Electrical damage. And that's all we need from those tables. We're obviously automatically putting them into the layer. We're obviously having them come and go from this place as they want. So overall, this place is out in a swamp. This is Roll20. I'm just in the application. I've dropped this down on a page, which you can create pages to your heart's delight. As many as you need. You can do all sorts of stuff with the page. Fog of War, we can get into that stuff later. We'll just get rid of that page for now. But yeah, this is all just the GM's view. So if you create and you don't have to save anything, and automatically keeps track of stuff in there. You got your games in Roll20. Boomity boomity boom. Liberation of Laidlaw, Tartarus. Game I've been playing in. A couple of games that I was running. Count of Champions are still languishing around in here. And this is just the 3x5 on the fly index card game. And jump right in. We'll adjust that so we can see the whole map. But that's all there is to it. Everything is still sitting over here. You can clear this There's a command to clear the chat, but otherwise, if you don't purposefully clear it, it all just stays in there, which is good, right? We'll just make a notepad 5 on the fly. We'll leave that on desktop for later. Good enough. Hey Mark, if you have the will-o-wisp discharge electric underwater, you could treat it as a lightning bolt in underwater combat. 2-inch blast radius is a fireball. Yep. Page 57 of the 1E DMG. In other words, ouch. Yeah, no doubt. And if you have 3 of them in there, then you've got quite the surprise. But that assumes somebody gets in the water. So, we have to lure them in there, right? Obviously, the lights can be some attraction if they haven't figured out what they are at the point that they get down by that pond. But you could put something in the water that attracts their attention too, right? Underwater adventures. Magic user. Lightning bolt. Alright, let's read it out. 3rd level magic user lightning bolt on page 57 under the adventure parentheses underwater adventures close parentheses lightning bolt underwater. This spell resembles a fireball as it pertains to area effect. Instead of a stroke, the electrical discharge takes the form of a 2-inch radius sphere centering on the point where the stroke would originate, where the spell cast above water. All those within the sphere will suffer the full effect. Saving throw indicates 1/2 damage. Now, in the case of the 2 to 16 points of electrical damage, it doesn't state that you get a saving throw. It's not a spell per se, but I would be inclined to give a saving throw if it were used in this case. If you hit it, 2d8 damage. You take that, no save, right? Or is there? I don't think there is. And if it hits you, 2 to 16 points of damage, 2d8, and that's just the damage it does from popping you. But if you're in the water around this thing when it pops off its 2 to 16, then I think we do the saving throw. Is it a crystal clear pond? Pool of water, rather? If it is, that makes this a whole lot easier in regard to trying to draw them in, because we can say that there are magic items, right? Because it has 3, up to 3, 50% chance of magic odds. 1, 2, and has 2. Yeah, that's another thing. So the entry in the monster manual calls for 1 to 3 will-o-wisps. But the treasure type is Z. Do we treasure type it for each one that is appearing? Or is that just the treasure for all of them together or one of them alone, regardless of the number appearing? I say it is for all of them. So, let us beat our brains over the course of the next week and decide, now that we know what's in here, what else could be in here, what sort of magic items they would be that would be in the bottom of the water. I would suggest that they've brought something in here and it drowned, which might speak to a heavy suit of armor as one of the items. It certainly would be easily visible from outside the water. And if it's a crystal clear pool that is not tarnishing the armor, then that armor would look beautiful just lying in the bottom of the pool with a skeleton inside it. Sure, it's tempting, but it's still a dead thing. I think that's a good, like maybe a golden suit of armor, something fancy. Maybe we put a helm on it. That's one of the other two magic items. We'll give it a third. Maybe the helmet and that, because there's going to be a whole bunch of gems and coins and stuff, and then that'll be just lining the bottom of the pool. So tempting. Maybe there's copper scattered about outside of the pool on the landings, but in the pool is where all the more precious metals are. Maybe 17, maybe there'll be a little trail on 16, 17. Maybe there'll be some coins scattered about on 15, 16, 17. You know, the trail of breadcrumbs that leads you down to the water and tempts you to go in because there's this beautiful suit of armor and a lovely helmet just at the bottom. And then boom, boom, boom. 2d8, 2d8, 2d8 is 3 will-o-wisp discharge as soon as you get in. If that doesn't knock you on your ass. 2d8. Take 8, take 3, take 8. Do you get a saving? Got to get a saving throw for each one, so you might take 4, 1, and 4, which is not a lot. Now we need something in the water at the bottom. You can't just go in the water and grab this thing and pull it out. You can't just throw a rope with a grappling hook and drag it out and dredge the pool. Maybe you could scoop out some coins and get them to the edge, reach in. That still makes you susceptible to potential shocking damage. But the suit of armor, that's going to have to be stuck down there somehow. Maybe there's another creature in the water. I don't know. Something with hooks or something holding it down. Maybe. Alright, well, we'll give that some thought. We're a little over time for today, so I guess it's easy enough to do the short outro just by talking about the schedule. Tomorrow, DM Cartoon Reviews, 3rd episode of Conan the Adventurer, the animated series, 1992. They did approve the second one, so it's up on YouTube to watch and enjoy. Rules retrospective on Sunday, David M. Prada's 2006 version 2.2. Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Initiative and Combat Rules. We're into the examples. Home stretch? Maybe. we'll see what we get. We could do a whole bunch of shows if there's stuff that's contentious in those examples that makes us want to check them out a little further. Weekly news and giveaway on Monday. Still trying to figure out what the prize is going to be, but it'll be something cool. Cartography and world building on Tuesday. Campaign discussion on Wednesday, mostly around Grimwald, my own setting. Crafting and painting on Thursday. And then background of virtual tabletop adventure building on Friday. Thank all of you very much for being here today in the stream chat on Twitch. Anybody here who's lurking, be sure to follow and chime in on the chat because it gives you an automatic entry into the weekly giveaway. I see there's a few individuals in there. So, pop on up, say hello. And if you're catching this up on YouTube, please do subscribe and give us a thumbs up, comment, whatever. Let us know what you're thinking. Appreciate it very much. Going into the weekend, enjoy yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. We'll catch you on the other side. Or maybe we'll catch you tomorrow for a commercial. For a cartoon, rather. Commercial. Maybe I should do commercials. Take breaks during the cartoon and pop up with some commercials. That might be cool. And annoying. Alrighty. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.